Hello and welcome back to Slick Willy Flies. Hope you have your cocktail. I have my cocktail. Today I'm going to do as I had promised in a previous video. I made a craft fur baitfish, Titan baitfish, and I had made one with no weight whatsoever. And I said in that video that I would make a beaded craft fur baitfish. So here's a perfect example. It's craft fur. It's also Titan dubbing. On the top here, this one is pumpkin seed. I absolutely love this. This is a blended orange and white craft fur on a bead. Here I have another example. This one also has rubber legs, but this one is white marabou and craft fur. No Titan dubbing on this one. Here we have another good example. This one has inside, it has a grizzly feather. If you can see there's a grizzly feather on the inside that really comes to life in the water. And again, that's a craft fur baitfish with a bead. And this one is just straight straight yellow with flash. This one does have, no it doesn't, it just has flash. No grizzly feather of any kind. This is a reverse tie, which is what I'm gonna do today. And you could see the body, this body color will show through when the fly is wet. So I'm going to do something similar to this. I'm planning on using a feather. And it's going to be, I think, white. And I'm going to use Opal Mirage Flash. I'm going to use a little bit of Crystal Flash. And I think I am going to use a little bit of Titan dubbing. I have so many Titan dubbing to choose from. I have Black Copper, Baitfish. This one is called Sunset. We always have white, pumpkin seed. I really like my Titan dubbing. I love the way they look in the water. It's always a difficult choice which one to use because I think they all look good. But I'm going to start with simple white thread. I like white because I can always take a marker and make it whatever color I want. So I always have white. And if I'm unsure how I want to finish the head, if I haven't really made up my mind, then my go-to is white. And that's the thing about me, is while I make a lot of flies that are very similar, they can be a little unique. Not so much my Big Tasties. Big Tasties, my go-to fly. There's plenty of videos. I make them in every shape and color. And those, I know exactly what they're going to look like before I even get a hook out. So what I have in the vise right here is a size 2 wide gap hook with a tungsten bead. And I still haven't bought my zap, which really is unlike me. But I ran out of zap a couple of weeks ago and haven't made it to the store. So we're just gonna do it the old-fashioned way. But anyone who knows me knows I like putting a little bit of Zap-A-Gap on this so that the materials never spin on the hook. So I have one piece of Crystal Flash, which I'm going to double, and then double once again. And then I'm going to look at the length, because I don't really want it much longer than the hook. So that's the shank size right there. Give this a spin so that it sets correctly the way I like. 1, 2 wraps. Set it exactly the way I want it on the hook. That looks good. Pull tight and lock it in. Then I'm going to take the remaining, just bend it over and lock it in. And now we have a nice little Crystal Flash attached to the hook. Then I take my scissor and just open up all these loops. There it is. Now you can go ahead and do a wrap under if you choose. You know, I do sometimes I don't. I don't think I'm going to on this particular fly. So I've got 3 little bundles of craft fur already. So I didn't waste time preparing the craft fur. I will do another video one day where I prepare craft fur. So I'm going to use white on this particular fly. And then we'll decide what color Titan we want together. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to attach about the same length if not a hair longer than the crystal flash, because I don't want this fly to be excessively long. I'm going to do 2 wraps, just like that, 2 soft wraps. Now I'm going to look at the length. I can pull my length to where I want it. I don't want it to be too long. Something like that. And then I'm going to use my fingers to distribute a little bit around the hook, a little bit better. And when I pull this tight now, it's going to be locked nicely. And I am going to use this up the shank to help create a little bulk to the body. Now, I'm calling this a reverse tie. It is going to be a Titan crystal craft for baitfish. So it's in my Titan craft for baitfish family. But it's going to be a reverse tie. Some people call it a hollow tie. It doesn't really matter what you call it. Whenever I cut, I spin my extra material and I cut on the top. Just like that. This way, I don't risk cutting off my bobbin, my thread. If you don't get everything on one cut, just cut some more. It's no big deal. Just make sure that you don't cut on the same side as the bobbin. I'm just cleaning this up a little. Okay, now I'm going to bring my thread to the back. And now I need to decide what color dubbing I want. That is good. I love a rum and coke. And it's Sunday, it's my day off. What color should we use? You know what? I'm gonna go black. This is black copper. It's kind of cool. This will definitely show through. You know what else I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go ahead and put a feather on. I had pre-prepped a little grizzly feather. I'm gonna go ahead and put that on right now, right on top. What I do is I generally put it so it's not quite on top. It's a little bit more towards me. And then once I get it, and I use my finger to just maneuver it perfect and lock it in. Beautiful. Now I'm going to put a little Titan dubbing on. Don't need a lot. I'm going to do it on the inside this time instead of on the outside. It shows through so nicely. It's just an awesome, awesome dubbing. So what I've done is I'm just working it in my fingers so it's as straight as can be. Then I'm going to take it, give it a little tiny twist on the end. I'm going to lay it on the shank, 2 wraps. Pull it back just a little. And now I'm going to bring my thread forward. Not all the way to the eye. Can cut off this little extra right here. And now what I'm going to do, it's easy with the rotary function, is I'm going to wrap the shank. Nice. Then I'm going to take my thread and I'm going to lock it in. You don't have to go all the way forward because this is again a reverse tie. Now this little bit of extra Titan dubbing, I'm not cutting this off. I'm going to lock it in. I could take a comb, I can comb it open just like that, and it's going to lay just like that. If it's ever too long, you don't cut it. If you ever feel like it's too long, you just take a scissor and just like rub it in there. There you go. Just like so. Perfect. So now comes the reverse part of the reverse tie. So again, I told you I had some craft fur ready. I'm going to do the bottom first. So I have a clump of craft fur. Now here, this takes a little bit of practice. You have to imagine, once you reverse this, the length. So I've done this so many times that it's hard for me basically to explain. It's just kind of habit. You have the thread about where my dubbing ends. So I'm going to set the craft fur at that point, and I'm going to 2 loops just like before, lock it in, making sure I like it. Now this is only going to be the bottom half of the fly. Feels a little long, so I'm taking it in. And I think that that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to lock it in and lock it tight. Now here's important that when you lock this in, you bring the thread tight to the back of your bead. It's very important that this comes all the way to the bead. And then you twist off your tag and remove your tag. Just like that. Perfect. Now we do the same on the top half. But now this one's easier because now I have a length. So I have my length. So I'm gonna tie it in. Making sure to only grab the craft fur. You don't want to cut off your tightened dubbing. Carefully come in with a scissor and remove your craft fur. Just like that. So now again, bring the the thread all the way tight to the bead. It's very important that you're tight to the bead or this doesn't look good. Just like that. Now I have a little push tool. This was just an old water pipe that I cut off a piece and sanded it really smooth so I can't hurt anything. So I take my push tool and I start to push everything back. Just like that. That looks great. So now before you start doing any wraps, now this is really important. You have to pull your thread forward, just like this. And now you make that wall behind the craft fur. So you could tie a knot, you could do a whip finish right here. In fact, I will. You could whip finish this fly right where it is and it will absolutely fish. This thing will look amazing in the water. All of these materials look so good in the water and you can already kind of see the black through there. You can see the feather in there. I think that this fly, just the way it is, would look great. I could put an eye, easily could come in here and add an eye, yellow, natural. Here I have a little bit of a red. And I'm torn. I'm actually torn. I don't know if I want to put an eye on this fly, but I don't think I'm actually going to. I think this fly really just looks great the way it is. The only thing I would do to this fly more is I would put it in some warm water because craft fur, when you sit it in warm water, really takes a great shape. And I think that this fly is ready to fish just the way it is. I could take a marker and color this thread. If I was going to do that, in fact, I could show you how I do that. Let me grab a marker. We use black since I've been working black. You see, I have a lot of colors. I have reds and oranges and all kind of colors. But the way I like to do it is I don't come in here because you can paint your fly. I paint the thread. I give the thread, see how easy the thread takes the color? It's nothing, this is just a Sharpie. It's nothing special here. And then you just take that Sharpie and you thread wrap it. And there it is. I'm going to go a little bit farther with it because I'm going to give it another whip finish. Just like that. There it is. See how easy it was to change the white to a black thread? I could have done red and given it a hot spot. I could have done so many. It's only limited by your imagination. So here it is. This is on a size 2 hook. This is my craft fur baitfish, Titan craft fur baitfish with a bead. And I promise you that this is going to fish. And this is going to be a great fly. I'm going to put it in some warm water and shape it. I'll probably take my comb and comb out some of the fuzzies that want to come off. And yeah, this is a great fly. This will definitely, this will fish great. This about, I'm going to say it's about 5 to 6 centimeters. It's the same size as this one, but this is on a size 2 hook. This is on a size, this looks like about a size 8 hook. That looks like about a 3mm bead. That's a 5mm bead. So again, it's limited by your imagination and what your conditions are. This is obviously going to be a more deep water fly for me. And yeah, this is going to catch a lot of fish. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you hit that like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Have a cocktail with me. You know, welcome every week. I'm going to do my best to release a video per week. And see you on the next video. Thanks again for watching.